If you've noticed your teenager's eyes rolling back so frequently, they're starting to look like they're checking their own brain for signs of life. I have some news for you. It isn't just a side effect of puberty. This rhythmic ocular protest is actually a physiological reflex to the conversational autopilot we as parents tend to switch on when we're tired or frustrated. We are essentially reciting an inherited script, a collection of linguistic hand-me-downs that were likely used on us, which we are now broadcasting like a glitchy radio station. Beneath the surface, these phrases act as thought-terminating clichés, and believe me, when we hit number 10, you'll realize why your teen is currently looking up the legal requirements for emancipation. Number 1. Because I said so. This is the ultimate white flag of parenting. It is the sound of an adult who has completely run out of logical ammunition and has decided to retreat into the bunker of executive privilege. While your teen is busy constructing a 3-tiered argument backed by logic and perhaps a PowerPoint presentation, you counter with divine right. Psychologically, this teaches a singular, dangerous lesson. Power is a valid substitute for reason. It's a masterclass in hierarchical dominance rather than healthy conflict resolution. According to developmental research, adolescents who are provided with the why behind a boundary develop significantly more robust critical thinking skills. When you drop the "because I said so" bomb, they don't actually stop questioning you. They just stop doing it to your face. They take their inquiries to the digital underground, group chats, Reddit threads, and meme culture, where your authority is currently being roasted in 4K resolution. Their brains are literally undergoing a neurological renovation designed to test the why of the world. Shutting that down doesn't teach them obedience. It teaches them that rank is more important than reality. If you're genuinely too drained to explain the nuances of a curfew, just say that. Being human is more influential than being a dictator. If that realization feels a bit heavy, number 2 is where we usually pivot into the role of the sarcastic gardener. Number 2, money doesn't grow on trees. Groundbreaking. Truly. Thank you for the botanical update. Your teen was just seconds away from trying to harvest a down payment for a car from the local oak forest. When a kid asks for $20 and gets hit with this metaphor, it doesn't teach them the value of $1. It teaches them that you view them as financially illiterate. Data from the Journal of Consumer Affairs suggests that teenagers actually internalize financial responsibility through transparent, data-driven conversations, not botanical snark. Instead of the plant-based lecture, try explaining that the hoodie they want costs the equivalent of 15 hours at a minimum wage job, or show them the line item for the family's monthly Wi-Fi bill. When you ground the conversation in actual math, you move from being a discount philosopher to a mentor. Otherwise, they'll just keep getting their financial advice from 19-year-old crypto influencers on TikTok who promise them the moon while you're still talking about the trees. Number 3 is the classic parental time travel maneuver. When you're a parent, you'll understand. This is essentially a conversational promissory note that doesn't mature for at least another 2 decades. What you're really saying is, I don't have a coherent explanation for my current behavior, so I'm betting on the fact that you'll be just as stressed as I am in 20 years and will finally forgive me. Psychological studies out of Stanford indicate that dismissing a teen's current perspective in favor of a hypothetical future self erodes the foundation of trust. Teens live in the now. Their brains prioritize immediate relevance over long-term enlightenment. By telling them their opinion won't matter until they've reproduced, you're invalidating their current lived experience. And what about the kids who choose not to become parents? Are they locked out of the secret knowledge of the universe forever? Instead of a prophecy, Try vulnerability. Try saying, "It's hard for me to explain how much I worry about your safety." That doesn't require a parenting badge to understand. It just requires a human connection. Next, we have the phrase parents deploy when the family hierarchy starts feeling a bit too shaky. Number 4, I'm not your friend, I'm your parent. Newsflash, your teenager is well aware. They know this because their friends usually don't seize their phone at 10 p.m. or make them eat roasted Brussels sprouts. This phrase almost always emerges during a losing argument. It's the family org chart being slapped onto the table like a winning poker hand. Yale research into authoritative versus authoritarian parenting shows that the sweet spot is maintaining firm boundaries while remaining emotionally accessible. You don't need to be their bestie, but you should strive to be friendly. When you lead with the "I am not your friend" line, you aren't reinforcing your role. You are reminding them that you are a sovereign state they happen to live in. Your teen doesn't need a drill sergeant. They need a safe harbor that happens to have some house rules. Then comes number 5, the phrase where we outsource gratitude to the future. You'll thank me later. Later when? During the midlife crisis? In the middle of a therapy session while discussing their childhood? This is parental code for "I am forcing this on you, and I am so uncomfortable with your current unhappiness that I'm imagining a future where you're grateful for it." Neuroscience shows that the adolescent brain is not particularly well equipped to process long-term someday rewards. Their prefrontal cortex is still a construction site. Asking a teen to appreciate something they currently find miserable is like asking a patient to enjoy a root canal because their smile will look great in a year. The timing is fundamentally flawed. Usually, the things they actually end up thanking us for are the things we didn't realize we were doing, like being a consistent listener, rather than the forced violin lessons or the band's social outings. If you can't justify the why in the present, thanking you later is a very risky bet. Coming up at number 6 is the historical fan fiction known as When I Was Your Age. Cue the sepia-toned filters. Usually, this involves a lecture about how you used to walk uphill both ways to a rotary phone. But here's the cold reality. When you were their age, the economic and social landscape was an entirely different planet. Image comparing 1990s social interaction versus 2020's digital social landscape research from Northwestern indicates that these back my day speeches don't build bridges, they build walls. To a teen, your stories about life before the internet aren't relatable. They're ancient history. You didn't have to navigate cancel culture or the psychological weight of being left on read by your entire social circle simultaneously. Your teen isn't living in your past. They are trying to survive a high-speed digital present. Instead of comparing eras, try asking them what their world feels like today. It's much more effective than bragging about how you used to survive with only 3 television channels. And now for number 7, the peak of parental passive aggression. Is that what you're wearing? This isn't an inquiry. It's a drive-by shooting of their self-esteem. Your teen likely spent an hour agonizing over that outfit, checking every angle in the mirror, and getting a fit check approval from 4 different friends. When you nuked it with a fake question, you didn't trigger a wardrobe change. You triggered a resentment spike. Psychology Today notes that criticism disguised as curiosity is one of the most effective ways to shut down communication. It's fashion gaslighting. If the outfit is a safety issue, like wearing a tank top in a blizzard, just state the temperature. If it's just your personal taste, maybe consider that they aren't dressing to be your mini-me. They are using their clothes as a costume to figure out who they actually are. Let them have the hoodie. Then we have number 8, which essentially tells a teen that their internal biology is a lie. You're too young to be tired. This is usually shouted by a parent who is currently recovering from the exhaustion of a grocery store run. Meanwhile, your teen has been awake since dawn, navigated 8 hours of social 3D chess, 3 hours of extracurriculars, and 4 hours of homework, all while their body is undergoing a massive hormonal and physical overhaul. Johns Hopkins sleep research reveals that teens actually need more sleep than adults, and their internal clocks are naturally shifted later. They aren't being lazy or dramatic. They are biologically out of sync with the 7 a.m. school bell. When you dismiss their fatigue, you are telling them that their physical reality isn't valid. That's a fast track to them, hiding their struggles from you entirely. If that feels invalidating, number 9 takes it to a professional level. You have it so easy. This is the Suffering Olympics, and you've decided to award yourself the gold medal. Sure, you had to use encyclopedias and couldn't be reached after dark, but you also didn't have to deal with the 24/7 surveillance of social media or the existential dread of modern global crises. Every generation thinks the next one has it easy because the challenges change shape. Modern teens are juggling levels of anxiety and digital complexity that didn't even exist when we were their age. Claiming they have it easy because they have Google is like saying a marathon is easy because the runners have better shoes. The race is still 26 miles, and the terrain is currently on fire. Finally, we reach number 10. You'll understand when you are older. This is the ultimate conversation stopper. It's the parental power cut. It assumes that wisdom is an automatic download that happens on your 25th birthday, and that your current inability to explain your rules is just a temporary version mismatch. But let's be honest. Half the time, we don't understand what we're doing either. We're all just adulting our way through life, hoping no one notices we're Googling basic life skills at 2 a.m. Your teen doesn't need a promise of future enlightenment. They need an honest partner in the present. They need to see that you're navigating the world with them, not just waiting for them to catch up to your supposed level of wisdom. These 10 phrases don't build character. They build silence. When we drop the scripts and start speaking with real transparency, that's when the eye rolling stops and the actual conversation begins.